You have to read it. We're not going to say it.
Jim's oil drilling. No, wait. Jim's oil drilling. The deeper it goes, the wetter it gets. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
I have my 4 pillars of hitting here, episode 119. You ready? All right, number 1. I previewed this last week because I took a run/walk in Tampa, and I was thinking about the playoffs and hitting and pitching and all that kind of stuff as I'm crossing the street and walking along the river. And I thought, man, there's 4 pillars of hitting here that we have to do on this show. We have to talk about them. More important than mechanics, more important than mostly everything you see and hear about on social media about hitting. Okay, first one, timing/vision. You kind of already alluded to that earlier on. Swing plane/bat path. That's number 2. Number 3, making adjustments against a pitcher trying to get you out. And number 4, and this might be the biggest one, but the most complicated and hard one to grasp, confidence. Okay, let's start with number 1, timing and vision. We had Jerry Weinstein on the show a couple of weeks ago. He said his number 1 pillar, if you will. That's when you mute the microphone, by the way.
I
When
know
you have to
I
cough.
was late.
That's yeah. Timing and vision. He said timing is one of the most important things about hitting, right? Timing, vision. You always talk about it too. You have to have great vision. Your dad talked about it. He told me that years ago. You told me that years ago. Hey, you have to have great vision, but your timing. The pitcher's job to get you out, not just to strike you out, it's to mess up your timing. That's the number 1 thing, and that's my first pillar: timing and vision.
Yeah. And you said it, a hitter's job, is to find timing, and a pitcher's job is to upset timing.
Mhm.
And that's the game. So if your timing is perfect, your swing plane doesn't have to be. If you always hit the ball in the same area, you don't miss your pitch and you don't swing at bad pitches, you can be an unbelievable hitter with a swinging straight up or straight down if your timing is perfect. How do we strive for perfection? It's when we start moving, when do we get our foot down? That was always a very common phrase, get your foot down on time, but
Ugh,
nobody
the
really knew what
worst.
on time was. What's that?
It's the worst, that
Yeah,
phrase. Get your foot down.
get your foot down
You
on
still
time.
hear
And so
analysts, by the way, say it at the major
all
league
the
level.
time.
Yeah.
And so people, automatically think, well, I'm just going to put my foot down early, like when the pitcher's in his windup, right? Or the pitcher's, hasn't even released the ball yet, where it's not, we're not reacting and we're not feeling our way through the swing. We're just putting our foot down arbitrarily, and it doesn't work that way. So, timing starts with, when do I start moving? When do I start getting weight into my back foot, my back knee, my back hip, so that I can pick my front foot up and control it without losing my balance, and then being able to drop my foot at the right time when that pitch is in the zone. So, timing starts early in the process. And we try to get players. That'll be the first thing I do. We talked about that camp, that we're going to run in Pennsylvania. That's the first thing I'm going to talk about is timing and rhythm and getting players to move, and then getting them to move at the right time. And then, working on drills to get those players to do that, so they're not static and they can be dynamic with their stride. They can drop their foot quick if they need to get their foot down on an inside fastball, or they can hang it possibly for an extra 2/100ths of a second if it's a slider, or if it's a
Mhm.
changeup or something slower, they can make that adjustment. But if it's always the same, up down fast, it doesn't work.